Okay.
I'm happy to see Mahadevan Pillaiji here. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Namaskaram.
Good morning and good evening to all panelists. Prashant Bhaiya?
Ji.
Slides, please.
Still 2 more minutes.
Yeah. I think we can.
2 more minutes to start, but yeah, you can do the
we
testing.
can display. We can display the slide.
Share करूँ sir. पहले share करूँ. Just a minute.
At the bottom there will be a green button.
I am doing. Yeah. Ji, can you see now?
Yeah, Prashant sir.
Ji, thank you.
Full screen now.
Ji.
We can wait for a minute more.
Okay.
So that all delegates joined.
Time now, and 6 panelists are there, so I think we can start now.
Okay. So good evening all panelists and delegates. Myself, Dr. Vilas Varudkar. I am faculty at MNIT Bhopal and volunteering for this conference. So I welcome on my personal behalf and on the behalf of all UHV team members to this 9th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education, that is ICHVHE 2024. So it is being conducted worldwide online from 22nd November to 24th November 2024. And the theme of the conference is value-based education for human society, including SDGs. And we have 3 different panels in special interest group. We have holistic value-based education, then holistic human health, and addressing SDGs at the root. So for this session, we have panel discussion on implementation of holistic value-based education. And this is the shift to panel 1. And we will be scheduled this session from 21:30 hours to 23 hours IST. And I welcome all the panelists and all delegates from the worldwide to this international conference. So we have our moderator for this panel discussion, Dr. Prashant Daigone, sir. Sir is Professor and Dean Infrastructure at Department of Civil Engineering, Government College of Engineering, Nagpur. And he is a very active volunteer for UNESCO Human Values team. And with this, I request Dr. Daigone to please start this session.
Ji. Thank you, Dr. Vilas. I once again welcome you all my dear panelists and delegates from India and abroad also. So, this is the 3rd day of the conference, and we are at the last part of the conference, that is implementation of holistic value-based education. So, slowly we'll move towards this one. So, as it is the 3rd day, first day we have discussed the that is need of the education. Second day, it was the vision, and this is the 3rd day. So let me do quickly a recap for a few minutes. So the conference started with the first day, and it was all a discussion of the need, particularly with the priority of values or skills in education. So the priority, it was ensuring regarding the right understanding in every child and the capacity to live in relationship. So while living with the human being, the relationship is very important, and it was all discussed in these 2 days discussion, and as if from the keynote also. The capacity to identify the need of the physical facility. It means that the concept of the prosperity, it is to be rightly understood by the human beings, and then only with the right understanding, the clear meaning of prosperity and the feeling of prosperity will be there. So how it is to be done? For this, there are the basic guidelines for this value education, and it is through number one, universal, means it should be the same for all countries, all space, all time. So that is universal. Second is it should be rational. It should not be based upon these do's and don'ts. Then third one is the verifiable. Next is the leading to harmony. And with this vision for holistic value-based education also was discussed on the second day. So holistic value-based education can be done at two levels, particularly. Number one is at individual level. So through transformation for the human consciousness. And secondly, at the societal level. So if individual is transformed, then family is transformed, then finally the society, and ultimately the whole transformation for the human society. So how it is to be done? So to transform the human society, it is done with the help of the common graduate attitudes, means attributes, what that is called as. So these attributes are, so with the help of this, particularly the 6 attributes, and with these attributes, one can have the holistic value-based education if it is in practice of the living. So that is number one is holistic vision of the life. So we have to see with the proper view, that is called as holistic vision. Second is socially responsible behavior. It means that while teaching the students, the teacher must have the understanding of this value-based education. He should have within himself, he should have the self-exploration, and then only it can be called as socially responsible behavior. The third one is the environmental responsible work. Means it should not be, you can say, exploiting the nature and all the values. It should imbibe in the students as well as that teacher also. So it should be environmentally responsible. Then the conduct should be ethically human conduct. And for this, we have to provide based upon this earlier knowledge of this keynote and these 2 days. So with the need, then vision, and then implementation. So let us check what is the program for this application of the implementation, means how to apply this value, how to implement this value. So for this, we have to understand the harmony and to live in harmony. So while making the implementation of the values, we have to check it at all 4 levels. So number one is at the individual level. So unless and until that teacher is having that values imbibed in him, means themselves first, because the students are watching the teacher. So slowly we'll see how to implement step by step, but it should be first at the individual level. Once the individual is having this program of action, then it can be transferred to his family. So once the family is transformed, then it can be slowly transformed to the society, and finally with the nature and the whole existence. So what is the program? How it is to be done? So it is to be done through self-exploration. So self-exploration means what I really want to be. So how it is to be checked? So it is to be checked upon my natural acceptance. So I have to verify it based upon my own right. And we have to take all these, whatever being said here, it is to be taken as the proposals. So number one proposal is this is for the right understanding. So right understanding of the harmony, how to be in harmony. Second is feeling and thoughts of the harmony. All the time, every moment you should be in the harmony. Then third is harmonious behavior. Once you are having the right understanding, you will be in harmony. And with this harmony, you can show or others can see your harmonious behavior, your work culture, and finally the participation in larger order. So how it is to be checked? It is very clear that I want to become happy and what I really want, but whether I am really happy, whether I am happy or not. So it is to be checked with the help of my guide. And what is that guide? Guide is natural acceptance or my intention. So if whatever is there, what I really want, I need, how I am, that is my desire, thoughts and expectation, it means that there is a harmony. If not, again I have to go back and I have to check it, and then I have to discover it, whether I am in harmony or not, and then I have to transform myself on the basis of the natural acceptance. So how it is done? It is done with the help of self-awareness. So be aware of your desire, thought and expectation at every moment. So every moment you should be harmony. If not, you have to check it all the time and then to come to harmony on the basis of the natural acceptance. And finally, you have to evaluate yourself. So self-evaluation. So what is self-evaluation? Evaluate your desire, thoughts and expectation going at the every time within you. And of course, it is on the basis of the natural acceptance. So now, what is the program for this doing all? How to be in the harmony? So let us go step by step. So we have to start at the level of the society, because earlier we have seen individual and the family. So how it is to be done for the society? Number one is the people's education program. So it is the program for the adults with the holistic human-based values here, value-based education. So people with right understanding and right feelings. So of course they are the parents and the teachers and the policymakers. Then secondly, there is a program for that is called children, which is called as the Education Sanskar Program. So we have to put this in the course of academics, so with the socially relevance and people with the right understanding and right feelings. Just now discussed the parents and the teacher, so that the people will be with definite human conduct, because they have developed the competencies through this human value education, and this thus they can participate in the universal human order. So this is the second program for the children. And third program, it is if the individual is transformed, if the parents and the teachers are transformed, then finally the education sanskar will be provided to the children, and with that right understanding and the right feeling will move towards the humane society. Now let us see how this human society we can transform. So number one, as we have seen, that is the right understanding and right feeling in the individual. So it gives happiness to, as if we all are here, and it is in the every individual. Then second comes, along with the happiness, there should be bodily part, that is the health should be very proper, and it is again in the every individual. So with this individual transformation, let us have the transformation in the family, and that is called as the prosperity. So producing more than the required. And the third is, when the individual and family is transformed, then let us move to the society. So in society, there is a trust and justice, and the most important is the fearlessness. So this, with the fearlessness, the whole society will be like the human society, and there will be coexistence, mutual happiness with the nature and the existence. So likewise, family-based society, whole family, whole world is family. So likewise, family is the nation, and then whole world making the efforts for this. So these efforts are made again by the family. So cluster of the families. Suppose it is the village, then cluster of the village, and then nation. So number of nations, as if we are here from India and all abroad countries. So finally, we all are the world family. So how this transformation will be done? So let us see one by one. So number one is people's education program. The one person will be educated in the 10 years. The next 10, so it will be 100 years, and likewise within 100 years, by this first step, there will be 1,000 crore people will be educated. But if we take the education sanskar program with this transformation of the people, parents and the teacher, then it will be reduced to this 50 to 75 years. And When the individual is transformed, that parents, teachers, and children, then for transforming human society program, it will take only 25 to 50 years. So likewise, slowly, step by step, we'll move. Number one is including this value education. So that is through education, research, and extension. So particularly the education is for the exploring and that understanding the harmony. Then second step is integrating human values across all the subjects. All the subjects, that it should be value-based education. So some credit to be given. We'll see in the panel discussion how it is implemented through these different questions. Then third step will be value-based living. Once the individual is transformed, family is transformed, whole society is transformed, it means that that individual or that teacher will start the value-based living, and it is called as the living with the harmony or living in the harmony, and that is called as value-based living. So at present, we can see that we all are at the step number one. So what are the steps to be done by various agencies? So particularly in India, the prominent programs run by the AICT. So this is the SIP, Student Induction Program, then Faculty Induction Program. Then third is UHV has been given as a mandatory course, as a UHV2 for the full semester course. Third is the minor degree UHV. And then faculty development, that is MDP, that's management development program, and leadership development programs. AICT is also trying for nominating certain institutions as a nodal center across the country, that is the India. Again, UGC has also included the UHV in the faculty induction program, that is Guru Dakshata, we can say, then student induction, and then life skills. The training centers have been requested to conduct the training programs. The conduct of value education is being translated into 9 official Indian languages. So there is a lot of work is being done by the AICT, and with the help of the AICT, there is a publication of learning material, books. So many volunteers are working, and the books are published this on the human values or the Manav Mulya and so on. Likewise, there is extension activity also. So there are so many extensions. So right in the MP schools, right from the 9 to 12 classes, textbooks also has been designed. Teachers' manuals are also there, workbooks are also there. And so these are some glimpses of the MP schools which are being there. Some work is also being done in the jails of the Kanpur and Ghaziabad also. So nicely the society is developing towards the human education. It is being human society now. So we can see the glimpses here of the MP and Kanpur and Ghaziabad jails. So slowly, quickly, I have given all this slowly the steps, but now it is a time to sum up within 1 minute. So program of action at the individual level, it can be seen that number one is self-exploration, second is self-awareness, third is self-evaluation. Program of action at the societal level, it is through people's education program. Of course, it is for adult. Then second is education sanskar program. It is for the children. And third is human society program, as we have seen and we'll discuss in the discussion also. Then to provide human education in steps, we have finally seen there are 3 steps again. Number one is value education. So introducing human values in the existing curriculum. Second is this value-based education. So that is updating all courses to be value-based, harmonious. And then third is value-based living. So this is the most important step, because practice of living in harmony. You should be harmony at the every moment, and the institution, you should be seen as an institution of living in the harmony. So for these multiple steps are to be taken to promote this value education. And as we have discussed, SIP, FIP, that is student induction program, faculty induction program, and this UHV2 degree in the degree curriculum introduced as a major subject, and minor subjects are also given. So along with this, as it is trying for LDP, that is leadership development program, MDP, management development program, and translation of the resource material in the local languages also, and formation of the nodal centers. So UHG classes are being extended in schools, and workshop being conducted for jailmates also. So with this, I take a pause here as a what that is UHV point of view person, and I hand over the session to our moderator Ila Didi ji. So I will briefly introduce her. So Ila Didi is Dr. Ila Manoj Dedia. She is director of Anveshan Foundation. PhD. She is PhD in textiles and clothing. She is having the teaching experience as a vast experience as an in-charge principal, IQAC coordinator. She is PhD guide also, and she was HOD of Nirmala Niketan, affiliated to University of Mumbai, and now volunteering for these universal human values for last 4 years. So, Ji, Dr. Ila, handing over session to you. Ji, namaste.
Namaste. Welcome to all the delegates on the Zoom platform, on YouTube. Welcome to each and every panelist. Today we are announcing this is our last session, rather, on the third day international conference on universal human values. And I thank my colleagues, Dr. Prashant, for the introduction to the UHV perspective.
Thank you.
I also thank Vilasji for having started the session. And now I have the honor to introduce the esteemed panelist. Yes, can we have the next slide? So we have Dr. Shri Mahadevan Pillai, who's a former Dean, University of Calicut and International School of Habitat Studies. He hails from the Institute, NIT Calicut and IIT Bombay alumnus. He has done his studies in structural and construction engineering, received several awards, published many research papers, authored several books. He's a speaker, a social worker in environment. He's an environmentalist, and he's on the expert committee, member of AICT, UGC, NAC, NBA. Welcome to you, Shri Mahadevan ji. Yeah, can we have the back slide? I think we missed one slide. Yeah. So welcome to you, Dr. Vitlani ji, who's a professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department from LD College of Engineering, Ahmedabad. He has rich experience in the industry as well as teaching experience. He's guided many PhD scholars, published researches, coordinated large projects, and he's exploring the universal human values. Welcome to you, Vitlani ji.
Thank you, Dr. Ila. Thank you.
We welcome Dr. Soumya Ranjan Malik, professor in charge of training and placement and an alumni and also the alumni affairs in the Government College of Engineering in Keonjhar, Odisha. She has a PhD in mining engineering from IIT Kharagpur, received several awards, published researches, and is a leader. She too is exploring, Soumya ji is also exploring universal human values. Welcome to you, Soumya ji. We have Mr. Unikrishnan, former professor and head Department of Civil Engineering from the College of Engineering, Trivandrum, has industry and teaching rich experience, several awards, published many research papers, is a consultant, and currently is a chairman of the IGS Thiruvananthapuram chapter, elected member of the IGS Executive Committee. Welcome to you, Unikrishnan ji. We have Professor Shashi Sharma, professor and head, College of Horticulture and Forestry, Neri Hamirpur, HP, Himachal Pradesh. He's a Fulbright Fellow of Higher Education Administration, USA, HEI, IIE, USA, and UCIF, India. He has secured scientist awards, is into leadership development program in universal human values. Welcome to you, Shashi ji.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. We have with us Siddharth Shankar Singh ji, Principal and Academic Administrator, Ganga Singh from the Ganga Singh College, Jayaprakash University, Bihar, has industry and teaching experience, guided PhD students, published research papers, and engaged as a speaker, specializes in Indian knowledge system and NEP 2020. Welcome to you, Siddharthji. We have Dr. Anil Dhawan, a professor and head applied sciences from Anand International College of Engineering, Jaipur, guided several PhD students, published research papers, also into speaker engagements, has brought in reforms in higher education, is involved in that, a master trainer in leadership development, the nodal coordinator of in-house and outreach workshops, attended Universal Human Value programs. Welcome to you, Anilji.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
We have Neeraji Raghav, who is a professor, Department of Chemistry, Kurukshetra University, from Kurukshetra, Haryana. Is a researcher, has several awards on her credit, guided many PhD students, published research papers, has patents to her credit, is again a speaker engagement, edited several books, is a former chairperson and coordinator of WIS Forum, and interested in the IKS and holistic approach of education. Welcome to you, Neeraji. And we have amongst us Dr. Kumar Sambhav, who is an associate professor, acting director at the UP Design of Institute of Design, Noida, has a PhD and MTech mechanical engineering from IIT Kanpur, and is a volunteer for the Universal Human Values since the past 23 years. Welcome to you, Dr. Kumar Sambhav. So with this introduction, yeah, we can close the slides. With this introduction, I would say a warm welcome to each one of you. And I can say that the panel is very rich, definitely very rich. And you may have lots and lots to share, I'm sure about that. My humble request, as we have a time span of, we have to complete the session within the span of 1.5 hours, and we have already utilized a good amount of time, almost 25 minutes so far. So we have about an hour, which includes the questions from the audience also. So I would request each one to restrict to the timing that is set for every question. Some questions would be 3 minutes and some questions would be 1 minute. I mean, to answer for 1 minute. So this question that we begin with, we can take, panelists can take 3 minutes. I begin my question to Vitlani ji. And Vitlani ji, the question to you is, how do you see the role of faculty and management for effective implementation of value-based education? Today, we have been a part of the keynotes. We have been a part of the introductory recap. Yes. And I'm sure those words you have also been able to hear. So what is your views on this? How do you see the role?
Okay, so I think this is the third day of conference, and it's very much clear to all of us that we are a human being and we want continuous happiness. And it's also very much clear from the speech of Dr. Prasad that happiness only doesn't lie in collecting the physical resources for the body, but it lies in living with harmony with individual, family, society, and nature that is in existence. We need to live with a resolution with the individual, prosperity in a family, of course, fearlessness in society, and coexistence in existence. That is requirement. So we all are in the same boat, and it's good that the boat is going in the right direction of getting continuous happiness. We all are in the same opinion that there are a lot of gaps in current education. And proposed education system, we all feel that universal human values should be started from the primary education. And if you look at the role of faculty and management for the implementation, their role is, very crucial, because up till now we are focusing only on application and skill part, which is only 6% of the total holistic education. And if, first of all, management and faculty should attend the awakening program and need the Chetna Vikas, that is, conscious development is needed before we transfer it to the students, because only developed conscious can transfer human values to others. So it is really required. If I talk about me, I didn't get much value education during my school and college days in school and college, but I got some human values in the family culture, because in a family there was a habit of reading holistic books. We were in a small village where we at every evening we all family members and surrounding neighbors, we meet every evening, and we were reading some shastra like Ramayana and Bhagavad. During the higher education in school, mostly we focus on the courses which taught skills, and almost all skills which we study in the school education or a higher education useful to satisfy our body requirement, because in all 3 days we have seen that we are running behind the wealth and cost. So almost in school and college education, when we were in a college and school, before implementation of national education policy, human values were not there. Of course, I have seen the National Education Policy 2020, where human values are introduced, and that's why we have introduced UHV course in our college education. But I strongly believe that faculty and management require to go this human value education program. Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice. So as Vitlani ji resonates with whatever has been shared so far, I would also request Neera ji to respond to the same question.
Thank you, Ilaji, for giving providing me the chance to add to what Vitlani ji has said. I totally agree with him that because of the root cause that joint families have been converted into nuclear families and the parents are employed, so they are not being able to inculcate the human values into the kids. And when they are now grown up to the level of employees in different areas, now the values are lacking and everyone is indulge in his or her self-interests. But at the same time, these causes have to be removed. And now when we have understood the basic need for the human values, because the earth is being deteriorated, the pollution is being caused, and due to the industrialization, which is for the materialistic development, it is also required. So there is need for imbibing the human values with this skill development. As I have also gone through these sessions for the 2 day sessions. So I just want to add on it that when we will be giving education, or we will be modifying ourselves, we will be transforming ourselves to this human value system, we will be creating new teachers, and these teachers will be now giving values to the primary school students. So the value which we have lost in this era, in last 30 to 40 years, though we have not studied, but our families have really provided us good human values, but now they are not available to us, to our kids, due to this, what we can say, we are in a rat race, we basically are in a rat race for materialistic gains. And that has, in that race, we have lost the grip of family for the society and the love for the earth. We are just thinking over for ourselves, our growth. So that is why this human value is very important. And the step of UHV programs that is very positive in this direction. And I'm sure that it will be implemented slowly and gradually in our systems. So this is what I would like to say. And because now we are to we will be transforming back from self to Vasudev Kutumbakam. So in that case, some at the initial level, some encouragement to those should be given so that the rest of the people which will see that they are being
Thank you, Neera
awarded,
Didi.
that
Neera ji,
can
thank
be
you very
taken.
much. Due to time constraint, I will
Yeah.
have to stop. I
Yes,
request
yes,
you to
please.
stop. But
Mhm.
yes, your point is taken well, that we need support and we require to prepare teachers.
Yeah.
So this is only possible with the support of the management, especially those who are at the head of the
At
institution.
head of the institutions.
Thank you so much. I have a question to Unikrishnan ji. The same question. What do you think is the role of faculty and management?
So, well, thank you for giving me an opportunity on this. Role of management, I was just looking at the poll and the question on it.
I would also request that we do not discuss the need right now, because the need and the vision has already been discussed in the past 2 days.
I am talking about
let us all
implementation.
discuss about, I mean, this is a message for all. We'll all discuss about the implementation today.
Yes. Here, see, the thing is, we all have lots of theory, everybody agreeing in this particular part. Nobody disputes that value-based education is a need of the hour. The thing is, unfortunately, this is not being implemented at any level. Actually, for me, I look at it like catch them young. That is the thing. So, to be very specific and to the point, what I would say, management has a great role. Being a part of a management of a major institution in India, I feel we have been fairly successful here. How means for any individual, the transformation, as was told in the introduction, it all starts with the individual. A society means it starts with the family, and find the family, this constitutes an individual. So let's take each student. It actually starts with the parent. What is required? Value-based. So what is the value? So here, I've been fortunate to be part of the training to the students in different forums, in public as well as in the school itself. We ensure that, or we address that the areas of personality of an individual are addressed. To be specific, so for example, physical level, what is required? Physically, one has to be fit, no doubt about it. So what is required for it? This is inculcated in the students in different ways. First of all, that part is told in different pictorial way. Then we are ensuring that that is being followed by frequent checks. This is being done, and I'm being part of Chinmaya Mission, Chinmaya Vidyalaya management. We ensure it. And then let us look at the next level, emotional, mental level. Mental level, anybody has to be calm and balanced. So for that, what is required? What is it that changes my moods? What is it that makes me angry? What is it that my emotions, how it has to be addressed? There are even role plays done. We are giving input sessions. And then go to the next level, intellectually, you have to be alert. Then it goes up to the final spiritually awakened stage. Universally, one is the next one step below. So all the 7 personality layers are being addressed systematically in it's called a Chinmaya Vision program we are doing. And frankly speaking to the body, I want to say NEP 2020, when they took it, there were panelists there from our schools, and a lot of it has been inbound. This is there for years. This is going on. And for me, being part of the mission, we used to do it for children in their forums called Bala Vihars and all. So frankly, I started knowing about it at the age of 35 to 40, but never it is late at that moment. And there are workshops.
Thank you, Unikrishnanji. I will have to request you to also keep your points for the later questions.
Sure.
I do understand with your long
Sure.
experience, there is lots to share. I would ask us the same question to Kumar Sambhavji. Dr. Kumar Sambhav, you've been into universal human values for a very long time and associated to an institution. What is the role of the management and the faculty, according to you, in the development of the value system, value-based education in your institution or in the institutions where you have been visiting? What do you see the role of faculty and management for effective implementation?
Yeah, certainly. Thanks, Dr. Ila. Basically, the development of faculty and management is at the core. Because when the faculty goes to teach a certain course in the classroom, then the faculty has to understand it first. And to understand, the faculty has to contemplate upon it, to understand it, explore it, also validate in one's living. So faculty becomes a role model for the students sitting in the class. Similarly, the management who has to implement the plans and the policies and the courses, the management also has to go through certain programs so that they have this clarity, they have the comprehensive understanding of what is to be done. So I'll say that the role of faculty and management development is at the core. And unless we take it up sincerely and seriously, the program is not going to be effective. Going further, I'll say that the development of leaders of education is also a must, because the leaders are the one who are making the policy at the state level or the national level. So for example, AICTE, UGC, CBSE, NCF, where we have the leaders of education sitting and making policies. Again, I'll say that the chancellor of any university is the governor. Or if you talk about the private university, the chairpersons are there who own the institutions and the universities. So unless they are acquainted, unless they are able to see the need for value-based education and they are able to see the practical approach that has to be taken to make it effective, unless they are able to see that value education is essentially to transform the lives of the students, they are able to see that values hold a higher priority over skills in education, they will not be able to convey this message effectively to the faculty also. So I'll say that when the leaders have to be developed. So on one hand, we have to develop the people sitting on the top, the leaders, the management, then the faculty. On the other hand, we have to make an ecosystem in the institution so that the students, when they go to understand and explore, they are able to see living models in front of them. So on one hand, the development of the management and faculty, and on the other hand, teaching the course effectively among the students. Okay, and for that, again, we'll see, because we say that we are co-explorers. It is a process of self-exploration. So whenever even I go to teach in a class, it's not that I am the person who's going to preach certain things and the students have to listen to me. No, I become a co-explorer. I open up the issues, allow the students to ask questions as much as they can. And then at the same platform, we try to explore various issues. We try to explore what happiness is, what prosperity is. So unless I have that clarity, unless it comes to my living, my teaching is not going to be effective. And this is not something to be contained in the classroom or the building. Okay, this is something that has to emanate in the society. So the students have to go to the society and they have to become the policy makers, they have to become the parents, they have to become the teachers of tomorrow. And that's why for effectiveness of this program, the development of the faculty, management, the leaders is a must. I have to share at this point of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What I really was impressed by a particular point was that none of the subjects which the management is conducting in their institution, we expect that they go through it. But this is a subject that you have brought to light, that if the management also undergoes the process and the teachers also undergo the process, it is very good to create that ecosystem and to facilitate the students also to explore. So that was one thing that I think the message for all management and faculty, that everyone needs to go through it to create that system, to understand what it is. Also to be a role model for the students. And the second point that I think what you made was that the teacher has to be a co-explorer. That means the teacher generally in all other subjects, the teacher is considered the master, knows everything. But what you have made a point is a co-explorer. That means the teacher also has to communicate to the rest, whether it's the students or colleagues, that I am also exploring along with you. And thus that entire system that is created, that environment that is created is learning from each other. So that was a very good, from your sharing. Let us also look at the poll results. There was a poll that had come in.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, I think we had to look into this whole part. Yeah.
Yeah. So we move ahead, and I have my question to Shri Mahadevanji. Shri Mahadevanji, yes. The question is that, would you like to share your views for effective implementation of holistic value-based education?
Yeah, this holistic value-based education, we started talking a few years back, and luckily the ICT has been kind enough to bring it to its norms, and we have started some student induction programs, and then some special modules and courses in the degree system, etc. But I have a slight different opinion. The value system of a student consolidates in his first 10 years of life, not at the graduate level. We are now talking mostly about the value system at the graduate attribute levels. It can do very less. The value system which has been developed in the student is very weak. Teaching him the value system at the graduate level will be like giving nutrition to a flowering plant. We have to do it at the budding stage itself. So yes, we see that we have got more than 45,000 colleges in the country, in which less than 8,000 only comes under ICT. But UGC has got control over all of them. But remember, we have got nearly 2 lakhs plus schools in this country, which are the primary areas where this value education starts. Most of the countries abroad, they start this value education at a very young age, from the play school, from the kindergarten school, so that by the time the student comes to the higher levels of schooling, they have got an inbuilt value system. Traditionally, India has been the country where the value system has been very strong. When the world was going beyond the materialistic side, we were mostly in the idealistic side. We had a spirituality of our own, and we were a happy population. We were a contented group. But now we are looking towards the West for everything, and that has to change. We should inculcate our own value system right from the beginning. So I feel that not only the bodies like ICT and UGC come forward, but the school education in its entirety. Now it is possible because the NEP 2020 is envisioning such things also. We have to start from the very beginning. Now I think almost a new system has come up with the UHV groups forming. Earlier it was connected closely with ICT. Now it is getting liberated. So the same mechanism can go to the grassroots level. I've seen in some of the Western countries, when I recently visited Europe, I've seen in some of the European countries, in the first 4 years of their schooling, in the play school and primary school, they teach only the value system. They don't teach any subjects, or even some of the countries even don't teach alphabets. They want the students, the kids, to instill themselves with some social system to which they can grow in. And we don't have such a system, and that is why we don't obey the traffic rules. We don't respect the people. We don't respect the society as a whole, and antisocial activities do come up. So graduates are at the fag end of that community part. We have to start from the beginning, and we are all mostly university teachers or university professors, and very few after retirement are going into the school education system. Also quite natural, but we have to change.
Yeah.
And I'm happy
Thank you
that
so
this
much.
UHV concept has come. Don't limit it to colleges. Please go beyond. And we should start like the life starts from the first day of birth to the last day of life. The value system has to start from the very beginning of the life to the end of the life.
Thank you.
Has to be there.
Thank you, Sri
Maybe this group
Mahadevanji. Your
can
point
focus
is
on that.
your point is well taken. Basically, what you are saying is for the effective implementation of holistic value-based education, value education has to start from the school years or the kindergarten or the pre-primary school age, and it has to continue entire life. Very well said. We move on to the same question to Dr. Anil Dhawan. Anil ji, what is your take on this?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ila. Actually, I'm quite agreed with the Dr. Pillai's view. In fact, that's true that we cannot talk about something which is, overnight. We can think about that a student who is in the college, and from there we can just add some values into the education, and we can just think of some good results to come out. What I feel is that it should start right from the beginning, right when the child is so young that he actually has so many things in the mind, and that actually can be inculcated right from the beginning itself. No doubt, the curriculum is now revised, and we see that some of the schools are they are taking it very seriously this time, and they are inculcating into their students right from the beginning the value education. And in fact, if we think about that how it can be implemented in the undergraduate level or UG level also. So my perspective is this: that's truly taken by the UGC and AICT. They are very well taking this into the curriculum. And if we see the curriculum designed accordingly to the human values program, so they have taken all kind of things. If we talk about the sincerity, the awareness, the respect, the empathy, and the gratitude, see, all these things come into curriculum. Earlier, what we think about that students are just into the technical program, so for them these things doesn't matter and they are not affecting him to one way or other way. But if we see in totality, so it's very much required. Even the colleges are taking it very seriously, because now it is found that everyone is taking a lot of pain in understanding these programs, and people are attending it. Even the faculties are getting trained just to have more understanding and how they can teach students, because we do not have certain different faculty members that we can hire for these particular courses, but our own faculty members who are well technical trained, but they also are lagging in some of the areas of human values. So they have been taught by these certain very important FDs and the programs, faculty induction program. So now we can realize the importance, and that actually has been taken up very, very positively by every level, right from the school level to the college level, even to the government level. So I think it's time to come that we'll find out the difference, and very soon we'll see that the people are taking it very positively. So I'm very positive towards this perspective.
Thank you very much, Anil ji. I think your views resonated with the earlier panelist. Basically, you are talking about the level at which this should be introduced for effective implementation. So it can be done in the school education as well as it can continue in the college education, is what your views are. Very good. Kumarji, are you here?
Yes, yes.
Because I would like to take the advantage of your presence here. And what has been your experience for effective implementation for a holistic value-based education?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the development of the management faculty is a must. Second thing is that we have to run this whole course as a process of self-exploration, proposing the content to the students and helping them reflect on their natural acceptance and then validate in their living. Thirdly, I'll say that when we are evaluating their performance in the examination, so we have to make the question papers in such a way that they really bring out the knowledge gained by the students. And so whether they have grasped the content that is shared in the classroom is one thing, and whether they have been able to reflect upon is another thing. Fourthly, we have to give them assignments and projects so that they are able to validate in the living with the outside world also. Now, coming to the point which earlier panelists have been sharing, that we need to implement right from childhood. This is quite valid and we have to do that. But the point is that when you go to implement in the schools, so first of all, is very high. The number of teachers is very high. Second thing, the children are completely under the influence of their parents. So you'll see that if you try to implement such inputs in the schools, then we'll also have to counsel the parents. So in fact, implementing in the school will require development of the faculty or the teachers. So you have to orient the teachers. We will also have to counsel the parents. We will have to even develop the management of the schools. So it becomes an honor staff. And for that, we require a big team to take it up. You require a whole lot of volunteers because this whole work has to be done voluntarily, not keeping any kind of remuneration or recognition at the core, but has to be done voluntarily. So again, you have to come back to the higher education, because if you need a team of such big team of volunteers, so you have to work in the higher education. If you have to counsel the parents also one by one in every house, that will take a lot of time. So if you start working in the higher education, you are able to develop the parents of tomorrow. When it comes to including such inputs in the schools, so the management or let's say the NCF has to work upon the curriculum, and they will say that how will you implement this? In fact, let me mention one example that once we proposed to start this in one complete district of Jhabua. There were 1,300 schools there, and it appeared that yes, to implement it effectively in Jhabua, we needed a big team. We also needed the living model of such institutions, because the parents were a little shaky about it, whether it can be really fruitful for their children or not. So that's why doing all sorts of experiments, we came to the conclusion that if we initiate from the higher education, the process is much more conducive. So let me say that, as Dr. Prashant was sharing earlier, that we started with people's education, then we started with school education, we went to universities, we talked to the colleges, and there also we tried to experiment in various streams of education. And finally, we found it conducively working in higher technical education. Now, from higher technical education, we are going to higher education. And we are also trying to take it further to secondary and higher secondary education. And it is, of course, our goal to take it to primary education. So it is a process. So we need to, of course, start from primary education, but we have to go through this whole process. Yeah, Dr. Ila.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kumar. I would just like to highlight a few points that you mentioned. You do agree with the earlier panelists that yes, it has to begin from childhood. But at the same time, your views on why it has to be introduced at the higher education are also very interesting. This is with a vision to prepare faculty for teaching in the schools, also to prepare parents of tomorrow, also to prepare the policymakers of tomorrow. So I think that vision is a very good one, which is very easily implementable at the stage of the higher education. Also, if you were discussing about the effective implementation, and you also spoke about the process to be self-exploratory, to have evaluation also, which is where we are able to understand the exploration that is done by the students. It cannot be a regular exam that we are conducting. So for effective implementation, all that also needs to be looked into. Also, after the proposals are being explored, they can still be given live, living examples to explore through assignments, projects. That was very nice. And also, if it is done at the higher education, we also have faculty who are able to work with the management to design curriculum. We can also develop living models so that the management is able to see the value of this entire process. So with this question, I think we will move to the next question now, because the three panelists have covered this topic very well. The next topic that I would like to now give is to Soumya ji. And my question is, what are the hurdles, Soumya ji, or the difficulties in ensuring value-based education according to you, and how do we overcome them? Also, just before you move ahead, the poll results are being displayed, and you can see that they are resonating with all that you all are saying. 100% are all agreeing to what you all are saying. Yes.
Yes, madam. Actually, as far as my association with this universal human value is concerned, I started my journey in during COVID period. It was organized to online mode by NIT Patna. What I'm trying to say is, as far as skill is concerned, or as far as my education is concerned, or as far as my assignments are concerned, am I audible, madam?
Yes, you are very much.
Yes.
You are audible.
So I have, yes. So I have gone through the Indian Institute of Technology, then National Institute of Technology, working around 1.5 decade at Government College of Engineering, Keonjhar. Thing is that I am part of everything, but in government institutions or government organizations, hardly whatever is asked to you, you are compelled to do that work only. As far as curriculum is concerned, or as part of board of studies is concerned, suppose I am asked as a young teacher or young faculty, I am 39, so I have to design the syllabus or particular subject, then I have to do that. And as far as this compulsory attempt by AICT for implementation of this program is concerned, this time I taught the 5th semester student the universal human value introduction. It is for the 5th semester students. It is a non-credit course. So the students shown their interest, but I can say 30% or 40% of the total intake. As far as my other subject like technical subjects from mining engineering concerned, so students are hardly showing the interest. And as far as management is concerned, when you are working in a government institution, mostly that thing doesn't work, and we do not have that space to discuss with the management, the principal or director, that we should do in this way, because the pattern that doesn't support us. Another thing is that the problem which creates, as far as our conduct is concerned, that is not definite. We say something, we think something, we do something. As far as the preconditioning is concerned, it is like I will not say that we cannot cross that barrier, but preconditioning from the family, from our assumptions, or from the society, it is so strong that breaking that barrier, breaking that preconditioning is, I will not say that that is impossible, but that is not easy, that is difficult. Then
Thank you so
third one is assuming the things without knowledge. We have a method that we assume the things without any information or without any knowledge. We make our statements, we do the things. And fourth one will be that assumption is also keep on changing. So these are the things which we have to work. And as far as implementation is concerned, suppose we are dealing with the BTech or undergraduate students. So they are coming to our institution at the age of 17, 18. So they have several preconditioning with them. So I am not saying that are we spending that much time with the students? Are we in a position to inspire them? Whether our journey or whether we look or whether we are in that state to inspire them. Just I am citing an example in a class. I was simply saying that
You'll have to be,
cloth is required. Yes,
hello,
madam.
Soumya ji.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, you can maybe hold on your views now for later questions because of the time restraints. But we got your point that there are hurdles that you face from the higher authorities. You also said that till we are not developed ourselves, are we in a position to, give the same? And also the resistance that is coming from the students. I think these were the points that you have highlighted.
Yes, madam.
We'll come back to you again. And I have the same question for Shashi ji. Shashi ji, what are the challenges? What are the difficulties? What are the hurdles that you see?
In my opinion, the Universal Human Value Teaching Program or this program include a teamwork and following instructions and getting along with others. So when we involve in a team, first is we have to build the trust. In trust building means we have to collaborate with many people in this, with students, with teachers, with management. So trust building is the first prerequisite, I feel, and it is the main hurdle in implementation that the team member when do not trust one another, the implementation get prolonged. Second thing is we have to establish role and task of the stakeholders who are involved in this process. We have to give clear-cut task and clear-cut targets for the stakeholder. This is the second cue in my point. Third is we are required to create a sense of equivalence. Means we are having a diverse group where women are member, men are member, people from different castes are member, different religions are member. So in that case, we have to create a sense of equivalence for successful implementation of the. Another is that we should take small initiatives. We should start with small groups, and with the time we have to upscale our initiatives in universal human value teaching program. And then in this way we have to I can say that we have to make a backbone in our institution for implementation of this program. So these are certain viewpoint I think which need special care to deal with the hurdles in implementation of this program.
Thank you, Shashiji,
Thank you.
for having added your inputs regarding that it requires teamwork, it requires a lot of collaboration with different stakeholders, it requires clarity within us, and it also requires an ecosystem where we are able to treat each one on the same level, respect for each. So, and also, as you said, begin with small groups or take small initiatives. So just like we have the student induction programs, then we have the UHV 2 curriculum, maybe taking those small steps initially would help. I have the same question again for Siddharthji, not Siddharth, yeah, Siddharthji. Not Siddharthji, I'm sorry. For Anilji. Siddharthji has just responded.
Okay, thank you, Swam. This question is quite important in my perspective. If we talk about what are the hurdles, hurdles are actually, sometimes a kind of resistance we do have to change to the curriculum. Sometimes when we have to add something new to the curriculum, so faculty sometimes become reluctant, because they have to add on something more to their load. What I feel, because sometimes it is become one of the hurdles sometimes. But actually, that is not a big problem. It can be sorted out. But the next point, what I can see is that how to convince student to take this program effectively. That's most important part. Because what we feel that students are more prone towards the program, which is quite credit-based program, because they have a lot of credits for this particular courses, so they feel more inclined towards these kind of courses. But when we talk about the value-added education or human values program, so sometimes we feel that they got disinterested to certain extents. That actually, we have to keep on make them alive to have this program, run very effectively. So, because being a head of the department, I could see out from the faculty members their feedback coming to me regular many times. The students have missed the classes, and when we ask them, so they say, "Ma'am, we don't feel very good in learning these things. We can do it at home itself." So they don't realize the importance of this particular education program. Then we have to make them realize through certain activities. So these are some of the areas what we feel that that becomes sometimes the restricted area or some kind of hurdles that in the implementation of this program effective. And apart from this, what I feel is that we have to be very particular in making a program very effective. So it should not only be the theoretical based understanding, but to have certain activities which actually don't feel them like that we are giving something additional to them. It's a part of their life itself. Suppose we take a group of students and we give them a task to have in the form of some club activities or some projects. So where they don't even realize that they have been taught by certain areas, certain education values, and they get into it. So this is how we can, overcome these kind of problems. That's my perspective. Otherwise, the program is fantastic. Definitely, we have to come over to it and do it effectively.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anilji, for resonating again the same issues, mainly surrounding around interest of students and the faculty. I have the same question to Siddharthi. I think I missed you, Siddharthi. The earlier response was from Shashi ji. So I have missed you. We want to hear you, Siddharthi.
जी नमस्कार करता हूँ
Namaskar.
और मैं अपनी हिंदी भाषा में ही बोलूंगा अगर आपत्ति नहीं होता there is no objection and I will continue my dialogues in Hindi. तो मैडम सर्वप्रथम आयोजकों को नमस्कार करते हुए मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि वैल्यू एडेड एजुकेशन एंड वैल्यू एजुकेशन सुनने में तो समानार्थक है, लेकिन इसके वैल्यू हैं। वैल्यू एडेड जैसे फिजिक्स में हम एटम से एनर्जी निकालते हैं और एटम से एटम बम बनाते हैं, तो वैल्यू एडेड यहाँ और वहां पर वैल्यू एडेड नहीं हुआ जहां एटम बम बना। नंबर एक। नंबर दो, वैल्यू बेस्ड एजुकेशन की जो बात कह रही है, इसी बात को इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम में प्रोजेक्ट किया जा रहा है। अभी जो पैनलिस्ट जो भी बात कर रहे थे कि कैसे इसको इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाए, कैसे इसको धरातल पर लाया जाए। मैडम, जो प्रोफेसर होते हैं उसका हिंदी रूपांतरण जो है या संस्कृत में रूपांतरण है आचार्य के रूप में कहे जाते, दिया जाता आचार्य। और आचार्य की परिभाषा जो है हमारे शास्त्रों में कि आचार्य का आचार्य कौन हो? आचार्य ग्राह्य, जो आचरण को सिखाए, विद्या को सिखाए, वो आचार्य। और आचार्य बनने के पहले जो सिस्टम में जब व्यक्ति जाता है, फ्रॉम द्रोणाचार्य टू टुडे, द्रोणाचार्य दिए जाते और शिक्षा जो है बाजारीकरण द्रोणाचार्य से, आश्रमों में मुफ्त फ्री शिक्षा थी, द्रोणाचार्य की व्यवस्था थी कि वे पेड एजुकेशन। अब उस एजुकेशन से जब चले फिर भी वो आचरण सिखलाते। तो आचरण जो है, जो कैरिकुलम जो व्यक्ति बनाते हैं, तो कैरिकुलम बनाते हैं तो उसमें समाज सोसाइटी का ध्यान रखा जाता है, कुछ ऐसी बातें न चल जाए जिससे समाज का रूप विकृत हो जाए, डिस्टॉर्ट हो जाए। तो सत्य साहित्य में जो साहित्य, जो फिलॉसफी, जो आइडियोलॉजी, चाहे फिजिक्स का हो, इंजीनियरिंग का हो, जनरल हो, जो समाज के लिए, जो राष्ट्र के लिए, जो विश्व के लिए उपयोगी है, उसे हम इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं। दैट नंबर वन। नंबर टू, कि जब प्राचीन काल में थी तो राजशेखर का नाम हर आदमी ने सुना था। उस वक्त पाटलिपुत्रा में उस वक्त पहले जो है कौन व्यक्ति शास्त्र का निर्माण करेगा, who will write the thesis, who will write the textbook, उसके लिए एक रचनाकारों की परीक्षा होती थी। वो व्यक्ति कितना राष्ट्र को देखा है, कितना भ्रमण किया है, कितना स्टडी किया है, कितने उसके अनुभव हैं, उसके आधार पर उसको दिया जाता था। और आज भी चाहे एनसीईआरटी, चाहे यूजीसी, जो लोग भी कैरिकुलम डेवलप करते हैं, तो वैसे पर्सनालिटी को लाया जाता है जो वेल रेड, वेल ट्रेवल्ड हो। और मैडम, आपने जो घंटी बजा दिया ठीक है, लेकिन दो चीज मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि हमारे यहाँ ह्यूमन बेस्ड जो बातें हैं, ये हमारी संस्कृति, हमारे संस्कार, हमारी विधाओं में, और इसको जरूरत है उसे हम जाने और यहाँ पर लावें। हमारे इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम में जो डेवलप्ड इंडिया था, जो ब्राइटर इंडिया था, सोने की चिड़िया जो था, उस मेथड को भी लाकर तो अभी हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, उसको भी पुरानों को नए के साथ संग्रहित करने, ये सारी समस्याएं समाप्त हो जाएंगी। हम उसको भी पढ़े। अब तो साधन है हमारे पास, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का, हम भाषाओं को चेंज कर सकते हैं, हम आपके ज्ञान को जान सकते हैं, आपकी भाषा को जान। जी सर, जी मैडम।
Thank you very much. From whatever I have gathered from your points, I will not be able to repeat everything in English, but yes, the crux of the whole thing that you have mentioned is the Indian knowledge system, and that how the traditional gurus or the teachers were focused on the conduct of the student. So you also stressed on that value education is at the base of all education, and also how we can utilize technology, the more recent developments, into the curriculum and utilize it for value education. Thank you very much, Siddharthi. And now we have a question round, which will be just a 1 minute question round. But before we go to the question round, we will take the questions also from the audience. Can someone read it for me, the questions from the audience?
Okay, let me read it for you, Dr. Ila. Implementation will be easy if all join hands for an objective of transformation. It's also possible in private institutions if government becomes strong. This is one question or sharing from Dr. R.K. Mohanty from Bhubaneswar.
Yeah. So I would just like to request you only to respond to this.
Okay. So
you can combine the questions, also the previous one, where we are discussing about challenges and difficulties, and respond over here also.
yeah, so at a personal level, so when you look at an individual, the challenge lies in the preconditionings of the person. If a person looks within oneself, we can see that a major share of the imagination is coming from preconditioning or sensations. Even the preconditioning to fulfill the need for happiness through sensation is there. So that is something what is also called as sanskar in the Indian knowledge system. So that has to be taken care of. At a personal level, one has to evaluate one's sanskar and transform one's sanskar. And we human beings only make the system. So if you find problem in the system, it is ultimately to be the individual. And in the individual, it has to do with the sanskar in the individual. And the sanskar all combined together in the society becomes the Sanskriti or the culture. And that culture leads to civilization, and the civilization leads to order. So essentially, we'll see that the transformation at the individual level is at the core. If that gets done through education, then the problems will get solved. But at a pragmatic level, when we go to solve the problems in the institutions, so we can see that, yes, as we were mentioning earlier also, a major hurdle is the mindset of the management or the top leaders or the chairperson in the institution. Then another is the mindset of the parents, because the parents are forcing their students or children to go for a job which can earn them a big package. They can settle abroad while they have to suffer in the long run. But they are forcing their children to go for such programs and objectives. Thirdly, I'll say the economy is becoming market driven, right? And the students have to pick jobs in corporate sectors where they get less time to pay attention to themselves, contemplate on their natural acceptance. They are not able to explore much after getting into a job. So that is also another hurdle. Then another would be like, as we were discussing earlier also, so within the institution, the cohesiveness, the relationship among the management, among the faculty, the class 3 and class 4 employees, because the whole institution has to work as a team. And we have been also able to see that in the institutions where the people are working cohesively as a team, we have been able to implement very effectively. So given the limitation of time, only share this much. Thank you.
Yeah. So again, I would just like to sum up what you have also said. Basically, looking at the preconditionings that are predominantly there amongst the students and amongst parents, amongst faculty, this all needs to be worked out, because with preconditioning, the value education may not go together. So value education has a great role to play in working on these preconditionings, and also that the institution requires to work cohesively. And yes, definitely time is required for introspecting and many other things. Now, my last question, which I will just be giving 1 minute to all the panelists. If there are no other questions from the audience, we can go ahead. Kindly suggest how the transition from value education to value-based education to value-based living can be ensured in every institution. And we can take 1 minute per panelist, and I would request you that I would definitely request you to stop after that 1 minute. So we can start with Vithlani ji.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Yeah. So at this, I will utilize this time to share.
I can repeat this question for everyone, so you can pen down your points and just use 1 minute. Kindly suggest how the transition from value education to value-based education to value-based living can be ensured in every institution. Yeah.
So just I will take opportunity to share one thing here that I am happy to share with all of you here, that in Gujarat, in a small town just Visnagar near to Gandhinagar, school at which Chetna Vikas Mulya Shiksha, that is conscious development Shiksha, will be given, and that school was inaugurated recently. I was witness of that school. I was there for an entire 1 week. It is initiative taken by industry, that is Samarth Diamond. And the Mahendra Bhai is shifted from Canada. Initially, he was at Canada and was giving value education. But then now he is shifted to India and he is at Vishnagar with his family to mentor this school. The name of school is Global Guardian School. About 20 families are working together to make this successful. And all these 20 families, along with the owner of Samarth Diamond, Dasrath Bhai, we were together in one Jivan Vidya Sibir, which was basically workshop related to the human values, which was conducted by Som Tyagi ji in a Nikora, Bharuch, in Gujarat. So such initiative already started at Vishnagar that I wanted to share. Meanwhile, if I will get more time, I will share something more. So I will
Sure.
stop.
Thank you so much, Professor Vitlani ji, for sharing this. We have Shri Mahadevan ji. The same question to you also.
I feel that the value education has to differ from the value-based education because basically the institution should have a value-based system that is missing in our country. I have to openly say that out of the nearly 500,000 colleges, 2/3 of them are in the private sector. Out of the nearly 14 lakhs schools, around 6 lakhs are in the private sector. So these private sector institutions, in their effort to survive, they reduce the fees, they co-beat each other. And in every state, the teachers in these colleges and school are highly underpaid. And they themselves are not motivated and they don't feel that they get the human values. So the system has to be corrected based on that. First, we should ensure that the private government sector, of course, that's a different case that I'm not going to explain here because most of you must be knowing it. That is the vital event. But on the private sector, the value-based system has to first come in the institution, right from the management. Instead of going for profit motive, they should have a commitment to the society, commitment to the teachers, and commitment to the students. That is the first requirement, I feel.
Thank you, Shri Mahadevan ji. Your point is taken well, that yes, the value system, the ecosystem has to be value-based. The entire system has to be recreated if it is not in line with values. I have the same question for Neera ji. Neera ji, what would you say about this question?
We as teachers, first of all, show the code of conduct. We should show the students what values are. And after when we will imbibe the values in ourselves and that will be observable to the students, then they will follow us and we should be the role models. And if anyhow, because of the management or because of the system, we feel discouraged, then we should not change our pathway. That is my take on this.
Thank you so much. So basically the teacher to be a model is what you are saying. Yes. Can we have the same question to Soumya ji? Is he? I can't see him.
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Two, three points I will say. As I said, our conduct should be when definite. It is as far as today's scenario is concerned, we can say it is indefinite. Second one will be a deprived person. As far as a deprived person is concerned, for him, prosperity is accumulation. So whenever he is getting a chance for something, it may be in form of wealth, money, or position, he accumulates it. So that creates a hurdle. And another thing, and third one, I will say, we have to be, we should be in a position to inspire others. Means, as rightly said by madam, we should be role model. Then only, if we will be in a position to inspire, then only students or colleagues or the society will be in a position
Thank you very much.
so that we can convince them. Yes.
I will have to request you, please. Sorry. We have Unikrishnan ji. We would like to know from you also. What are your views on this? You are on mute, Unikrishnan ji. You are on mute. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No problem.
Quickly looking into the transformation, how is it possible? First thing is the mindset. According to me, the priority has to shift to a great extent from objective study to subjective, because what we are talking is subjective in nature. So now here we are talking about making a student good rather than being smart. So the four stakeholders here, the students, faculty, parent, and management. Students, we have to reduce the pressure on them as 3Ms, mark-making machines. We have to make it more subjective in nature. And faculty, yes, it has to be made mandatory. They have to be given sufficient training plus incentives. Then only they also will, because they have not gone through all this. So that is required. And the third one, parent. Parents are the ones who want them to be smart rather than good. So here, parental education in forums are also a must. And the management has to facilitate all this.
Thank you so much. So basically, how all the stakeholders can go through this is very, very important as per you. Very nice. And to create more role models around us. Yes, Shashiji, we are waiting to hear from you.
As far as, in my opinion, we have to be in harmony with ourselves, what we think, what we say, and what we do. These all things should be in harmony, first thing first. And for transforming ourselves to valued living, we have to integrate different sectors of society. We have to involve different sectors. We have to involve leaders from society who are what do you say, that who are practicing these values in their daily living. So we have to adopt them as role models. We have to bring them forward, and we have to train our new young ones, or we have to seed the young mind for this value-based education. Then only we can go up to the value-based living.
Thank you so much. And we'll like to hear from Siddharthji your views on this. You are on mute, Siddharth.
जी नमस्कार मैडम। सर्वप्रथम बात ऐसी है कि मैडम शास्त्रों से समाज का निर्माण होता है और शास्त्र व्यक्ति का निर्माण करता है, व्यक्तित्व का निर्माण करता है। सिंपल लिविंग एंड हाई थिंकिंग एज द मोटो ऑफ आवर सब कंटिन्यूट, और इसके लिए हमारी पहचान है। अफसोस है कि हम इस पर बात कर रहे हैं कि हाउ इट शुड बी एस्टैब्लिश्ड। पैशन और पैकेज की दौड़ जहां पर संवेदनाएं समाप्त हो रही हैं, समय सरकता जा रहा है, संबंध टूटते जा रहे हैं, तो फिर सोसाइटी का जो निर्माण है, धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष की जो धारणा है, वो अवधारणा समाप्त हो जा रही है। तो इसमें तो अपने व्यक्तित्व को समृद्ध करना है। गांधी तब तो गांधी हुए, नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र तब तो नेताजी सुभाष हुई। तो हमें अपने को वेरीफाई, वी हैव टू make an example by our presenting ourselves.
Thank you so much. So what you said is that be an example, that is one thing, and also be an inspiration to the others. Very nice. We have Anilji. Anilji, we would like to hear from you.
Actually, I'd just like to say something that we have to be very positive. If we are positive in thinking and we can create a conducive environment where we are working with, that is definitely going to, help out in long. And if you talk about value education to value-based education and the value-based living, all are well connected with each other, because if we are thinking in our mind that we have done something good for the students and we have to be, effective leader. Leadership can be in a very trades, different trades can be there, but we have to be a affiliating kind of leader where we take all the students, all the teams together, and we can have to guide them. Not even just to have something like a pace setting leader. We should have, kind of coaching kind of leader where we just tell them how they can come up with the same platform, they can reach to the level where they can have a value-based education and their living as well. So that is how we can just take them together, and this is my perspective.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, and we would like to hear from Kumarji. What are your views on this?
Yeah, certainly. So to begin with, we have to introduce courses in value education, like as we have done in the first year, second year, we have introduced even elective courses and then minor degree. Then gradually we have to make all the courses value based. So it's not that in one course we are saying that the needs of the human being are limited, and in some other course we are saying that the wants are unlimited. That will be contradictory. So we have to essentially make all the courses value based. The same understanding has to be underlining all the courses, and then it has to come to living. So we have to develop the educational institutions into models of living where parents, whether students and teachers live together cohesively, and even the parents are who are the stakeholders take part in the organization of the institute. So that kind of cohesive living has to evolve, and the colleges or the schools have to become the nucleation centers for harmony, for order in the society. So that kind of model has to be evolved. And for that cohesive living, we can also draw inspiration from the Indian knowledge system, where we had Gurukul systems and we had been practicing values. And from there also we can draw so many ideas in the current scenario.
Thank you so much. So before I conclude, if there is any question, we can just take it up. We do not have much time, but maybe half a minute we can spare for that. Is there any question?
Yeah, there is one question. In extension to the previous question in the poll, for value education implementation, faculty and the management should work actively, but who will bail the cat?
So
Management.
that's a difficult question, but
So
yes,
each one of us has to bail the cat. Why
yeah,
not? We
each
have
one of
both
it
the
is a difficult
responsibility.
question, but yes, we have
Should
to
be the
work on it.
management and the government.
Yeah, it's for everyone.
I have
So
one
I just
suggestion
take
to add.
I take this privilege to
Madam,
thank
I have
all of
one
you all.
suggestion to add.
Yeah,
The suggestion is that in most of the institutions, whether university or colleges, now this human values purpose are a separate one. Maybe most of the institutions it is either audit course or non-credit course and such things that students do ignore it and they laugh at it. So instead of that, this can be made an integral part in many pieces. Like every course, some small parts can be included so that they don't neglect it as such as a paper. That is happening in reality. That's a suggestion.
Yeah, that's
thank you
sense.
so much.
There is one
I
course
would,
on design thinking which has been introduced, and if you see, the half of the course is human values. So that is one good possibility, as you suggested. Yes.
yeah. Thank you so much to all the panelists, and I would just like to make a very brief conclusion that I think all of us see from whatever I've heard from all the panelists, each one of you resonate that faculty and management have a very important role for effective implementation, and they are going through the process is very, very crucial for understanding how to create the ecosystem for the rest. Also, on effective implementation, there were points like self-exploration, that it should begin from the childhood years, but higher education is the right time to introduce so that we have faculty who are trained for the large number of students and for the for the society and wherever different stakeholders have to be looked into. Yes, there were a lot of hurdles and difficulties, challenges that we've discussed from different stakeholders. Students sometimes can also be a big challenge, as was discussed, but how are we going to prepare for the to face these difficulties? And for that, we all as teachers, we all as the different stakeholders of our educational institution need to go through the process so that we can be a living model for the students to understand and learn from it. Also, the transition of value education to value-based education, initially introducing it as an SIP or a 3-credit course, and gradually if we can introduce it in every subject, in every specialization, making it a value-based education, and further discussed the value-based living in the society. That is how we can create examples, models, projects, assignments for the students so that faculty and students can also be interacting with each other and experience the value-based living. And this can be extended to the society also. So With all these very brief conclusion, I thank each one of you, each panelist, and I'm really sorry that because of lack of time, I understand that we were not able to express each one of us fully, but still the essence of the whole thing has come out very well, and I thank each one of you for that.
Thank you, madam.
And welcome you for the, I will pass it on to the
Anchor.
Vilas ji.
Vilas ji. Thanks.
I think Vilas ji will make certain announcements.
Yeah. Thank you, Ilaji.
Thank you.
On behalf of UHV team, I again thank all the panelists and delegates for actively participating in this panel discussion, raising very serious concerns about the society and asking the panelists various important questions. And with that, I think we can again thank all the panelists. And
yeah, we can have a group photograph together.
Yeah, we can switch on our cameras and have a very broad smile for the photograph.
Thanks to all. Ji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.